So I've been building tiny houses for about 5 years now. Been in construction my entire life. Decided to venture out and joined up with another builder, kind of learn what I could about tiny houses, what was different from standard building practices. And after about a year or so with them, broke off and started doing consulting on my own. Kind of came up with the business model for Tiny Home Connection doing that, and then started up Tiny Home Connection about 2 years ago. My name is Ryan McHugh. I'm the president of Tiny Home Connection. I knew that my experience, I had a lot to bring to the industry, building experience with construction and stuff like that. Just wanted to bring my creativity and expertise in the area, change what people are doing and what people think about tiny houses. I actually own a double-decker bus that I am in the process of updating and converting into my own tiny house, yeah. So the process of building the tiny house starts out with the design. Planning is the most critical portion of it. The design takes about a month and a half, start to finish. Once we have the plans and the designs put together, the building process takes about 3 to 4 months. Yeah, so the main people that we see going into the tiny houses are initially the millennials that are coming out of school and realizing they don't want to get into a 30-year mortgage. Maybe they can't afford to do that. The other side is, on the back end, the empty nesters are going into retirement. They don't want the 5-bedroom house that their kids have moved out and they're not living there and they've just got this huge house to clean now. They want to downsize, maybe have a little bit of mobility so that they can follow their kids wherever they're going. Less expensive to live. They can spend their money on travel and stuff like that. Yeah, so our tiny house models, our general models range from 24 feet to about 30 feet. Our price varies depending on the materials that you put into it. Our standard prices will be about $300 a square foot. It seems a little bit high compared to regular construction, but it's because it's all the same components of a regular house just spread across a smaller square footage. So you've still got all the plumbing, all the electrical, ventilation requirements. It's all compressed in a smaller square footage. Most important part about living in a tiny house, I think, is the lifestyle. Being really conscious about how much waste you're using, what you're putting into your house, your water usage, just really a little bit more mindful and conscious about what you're using and throwing away. I think people buy tiny houses because the lifestyle is affordable. There's people that think that the tiny house itself is affordable, but I think it has a lot more to do with the lifestyle itself. You get into the tiny house and you're not spending money on filling it with stuff. You're not putting 6 TVs in it. You don't have to buy 4 couches, stuff like that. They like to spend their money on things that actually matter to them. Travel, hanging out with friends, doing the things that they really like. One of our biggest successes, I would say, for the tiny houses is we got our GC license. So that allows us to do tiny houses on foundations now as well, which is the easier path to do them. As soon as you put them on wheels, it's really difficult as far as where to put them. The other part is we have a support system for do-it-yourselfers. We have spaces in our yard that you can rent to build a house yourself, and we're there to kind of help you along the way. If there's things that you have questions about or not really sure how to do, plumbing, electrical especially, we're able to help out. And that's a lot of what we've seen from the public, is that they really like that support. In addition, we're doing a lot of work with municipalities in the actual development of tiny home communities. It's a lot of work, but as soon as we get the first one developed, I think that's going to really be a game changer for the industry. Yeah, we definitely like to collaborate with either the clients themselves, or if we have development companies that are wanting to come in, we're always kind of working back and forth with what do they want the designs to be, what do they want the size to be. Everything we do is fully custom, so we can customize it and design it according to your needs. The biggest issues we have with starting the tiny house business, number one issue is where do you put them? A lot of people want the tiny house, they love the idea, they love the concept, but the industry just isn't there established yet to have an easy place to put them. A lot of them are stuff that we've learned coming into Tiny Home Connection when we were doing the business model. Some of the stories we hear are people that are traveling from out of state coming into Colorado. Maybe they built their house and it became a little too heavy. We had people that we were helping them set up as they came into Colorado, and they were 2 days late coming in because they had 2 tire blowouts because their trailer was too heavy. And so they had just a lot of trouble, and then finally when they got here, it had just rained, and so the spot they were parking it on was super muddy, so they started sinking into the mud. And so it got really tricky trying to get that thing set up in the mud. My future vision for Tiny Home Connection, as well as just tiny homes in general, going to be in communities. The community development is going to be huge. Trying to do one tiny house at a time is really difficult because of the costs that are associated with the site development and everything like that. But if you pool your resources together and have a bunch of tiny houses sharing those upfront costs, it makes it a lot easier to put together. Plus, people want that community lifestyle. They want like-minded individuals to be living next to each other. There's a lot of people that live in subdivisions and in suburbs of cities that don't know the names of their immediate neighbors. Yeah, so if I could give any advice to anybody looking into a tiny house, it's really about the lifestyle. Make sure the lifestyle is what you want. It's all about simplification, not spending money on stuff that you don't need, making sure that your house is really designed around your lifestyle or the lifestyle that you want to take on, and start thinking about what you actually want to spend money on: traveling, hanging out with friends, hobbies, stuff like that. The house is really just a tool to make that a possibility.